All right, so I am peeling birch for birch bark tea. Now, I had already started this and then thought, people might actually be interested in knowing about this. So the birch tree has so many uses. The birch paper, this right here, even the little really papery stuff, that's great for fire starter, and apparently it can be burned down to make an oily kind of tar, which is, from what I have read, what the natives use to make their canoes. They use the oil to seal it from the birch. And you can also make tea out of this. We actually use the paper for fire starter so it doesn't get wasted as I peel this. And then, so I'm peeling it, and it's this outside part, and then this seems to come off next. And this will go in my birch paper bag, which has a lot in it from the last time I did this. I have what I call my bag for actual birch bark. And all this, it's kind of orange looking, and use that for tea. So what I'm going to do here, so I already have some of these peeled, is show you. So it takes a little getting used to getting the knife up in here, and I just use a kitchen knife, and I have a sharpener so I can sharpen stuff too. And I get this outer part peeled, get that off. And you see how there are different layers. There's actually several layers of paper before you get down to the good stuff here. And even the twigs in the spring that are starting to pop out, you can harvest twigs and make yourself a tea with it also. Now here, I'm going to get this knife going, get this started like this. That's just a little piece. Let's get this stuff out of the way. And here you go. And if you get some of the whiter stuff like this mixed in, it's really not a big deal. It's just this dark color is what is the best for birch tea. It has all the goodies in it. There, see? Yeah, peel that right off, and into a bag it goes. My paper bag. And what I'm going to do with this, because we don't drink a whole lot of tea, and in fact Jed likes tea more than I do, I'm going to turn some of this into a gift box for my mom and my sister in Florida. Along with some of my dried pine needles for tea. And I made some pine needle oil. Well, I haven't made it yet. I have the pine needles drying. And I'm going to make a salve to send with them too. Now you see that right there? Now that's when you're getting down into the tree itself. I'm sure that's not the right word I'm looking for, but all this here is good for tea. And I'll even make a little bit of tea just to show you what it looks like. I'll get some water heated and be right back. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm using this so you can actually see how pretty it ends up being. And I just break some of the bigger pieces into smaller pieces. They fit nicer. And nothing goes to waste. Even all this stuff right here will go into my birch bark bag. All right, now I'll fill this about 1.5 cups of water, because this is a cup of birch leaves. So let's do 1.5 cups of water. There. Now, what you'll know when this is done, when this water has turned kind of orange. It'll be really pretty. And while that was going on, while I was waiting for the water to boil, I peeled this log. My birch paper bag is full. I'm going to close that off, because that part is done. Well, let me throw this stuff in it. Now, that's done. Now I'll just keep on doing this until my water is ready. Look at how pretty that is. Gorgeous white. These are good things to know about if you're in the woods someplace and you need to know what to use to survive and how to use it. So wherever you are in the country, if you're out in the wilderness, you should do some research ahead of time and find out what your plants are, what your trees are, what they can be used for. If there's going to be an emergency, can you use this for an emergency? Can you use that for an emergency? And if so, how do you use it? It's starting to get a little darker. I'll come back and show you once the water's ready, and I can show you just how dark it gets. All right, now see the birch tea has turned color and is light orange, heading to dark orange. So you can let this sit as long as you want. I mean, but this here is perfect for me. So pour this in through a sieve. And you know how I put 1.5 cups of water in there? Well, that fit perfectly inside this cup. And then I'll take some honey. This is local honey from a guy in Fairbanks who has his own hives. I'll take a spoon of that. And this is from 2024. It was kind of cool. So what I did was paid him for his hives. Well, not the hives. I don't know what they're called. The boards that the honey goes on. That the bees come in and they build their hives inside there and leave the honey. So I paid him for those and brought them home and strained my own honey. So I ended up with a lot of honeycomb to go with that. But oh, also, just so you know, the bark can be used another time or two. And so if you want more tea, you don't have to go through your stash if you have a stash. You just use it a couple times, 2 or 3 times. Oh, that is so tasty. Cheers.